Hello and welcome to this edition of Jana Brock's Bunny Talks. I'm Jana, and today we're going to talk a little bit about bunny proofing, specifically furniture, baseboards, and walls. As experienced rabbit owners know, curiosity is a very persistent trait for these animals. Rabbits will check everything out, and that includes tasting everything. They will chew on walls, baseboards, flooring, carpeting, you name it, if you allow them to. Another thing to be aware of with pet rabbits is they are very interested in cords. Cords should be kept out of reach of all rabbits at all times. However, there are some older homes that have the outlets very close to the floor. In those cases, you need to not only have one cord covering, but we use a 3-step process that's very effective. You can read about that in my book, Bunny Conversations, The Entertaining Dialogue of Pet Rabbits by Jana Brock, that's available on Amazon and other outlets all around the world. But today we're going to talk more specifically about protecting your furniture and walls. Now, bunny proofing your home and any area that your rabbit is allowed access to is not just solely to protect your home. Of course, you don't want your rabbit chewing your house to the ground, but it is also a protection for the rabbit. Rabbits will eat paint off the walls. They will cock their head back, go up next to a flat wall, and actually make holes in the sheetrock. They can very quickly destroy table legs, chair legs, eat the corners off your couch. They'll even eat the lining if they have enough space to get beneath, say, a recliner or your couch or even a bed. So one thing to note about letting your rabbit use beneath your couch or beneath your bed or beneath a chair as a hideaway. Number one, that's a crush danger. You could sit down and the rabbit could have eaten through the lining on the bottom of the couch and be hiding up in the springs. Then if someone comes along and sits down, doesn't know he's under there, you have just crushed him. That is a horrible way to cause a lot of suffering for your rabbit and probably will cost him his life if that happens. So it is never wise. We absolutely advise against giving your rabbit access to under your couches or under chairs for any reason at any time. And the same is true for beds. A crush hazard, the possibility of your rabbit being critically injured is not the only reason to disallow him access to these items. A lot of the linings underneath furniture have a fiberglass component in them, and your rabbit's sitting there chewing, and a lot of them will ingest the fibers even if they don't swallow the pieces they tear off, and that's extremely dangerous for them. Those fibers and those materials and cloths are not meant for rabbits. Their digestive system will become blocked, or even the little fibers could even cut the inside of their digestive system on the way down, so they should not be allowed access to these items. But back to protecting other kinds of furniture and walls, a different kind of furniture that you might think is fine if he starts chewing on the table leg or chewing on a chair leg. That is, say you have a wooden table set in your dining room and you notice he's been gnawing on the bottoms of the legs, and if he hasn't yet, it's just a matter of time. Most furniture has some kind of varathane on it or lacquer or some kind of finish on it that is not good for the rabbit. They should not be ingesting those items. So of course, the best method of preventing your rabbit from ingesting something he shouldn't, is close supervision when your rabbit is free roaming or out playing. That is to say, when he's not in his primary enclosure or in the space around where his primary enclosure is located. Just a reminder that your pet rabbit has been genetically altered to be appropriate for a pet, an indoor pet, a house rabbit. But its base nature is still intact. So digging behaviors and chewing behaviors are part of a rabbit's base nature. If you can't accommodate those behaviors, then a pet rabbit is not right for you and your family. Plenty of rabbit owners all over the world have found great ways to accommodate those behaviors. For example, there are a variety of safe toys, chew toys, some toys that you might give your baby as chew toys. A lot of those are safe for pet rabbits. In fact, they need to have hard woods around at all times, 24 hours a day, and have access to something to chew on, because a rabbit's teeth grows throughout its entire lifetime, and that's how they keep their teeth ground down. In nature, a rabbit will eat bark off a tree, and they will chew on wood constantly. That not only helps with their teeth length, but it also helps keep their gut strong and keep their system moving properly. So rabbits need a lot of coarse fiber, between 80-95%, some sources say 85 to 90% of their diet should be long strand coarse hay, such as Timothy hay. Again, this helps keep their teeth ground down to a proper length, but it also helps keep their gut muscles strong. A rabbit with weak gut muscles will succumb to a condition called gastrointestinal stasis or GI stasis, which is a silent killer of rabbits. That topic is covered in a different Bunny Talks and also in my book, Bunny Conversations, so we won't talk a lot about that today. Just suffice it to say that your rabbit needs access to chew toys and hardwoods all the time. And of course, unlimited access to long strand hay 24 hours a day. So just a few quick tips on how to protect your furniture and walls and the baseboards of your house. You can put fur stripping or other types of hardwood that the rabbit can chew on, and he will, along the baseboards of your living room or kitchen or dining room or whatever room you have allowed your rabbit to have access to. A lot of rabbit owners don't want to do that because it changes the appearance of their home. However, if you search for some examples of rabbit proofing, you will see that a lot of rabbit owners have incorporated beautiful rabbit proofing and rabbit safe woods right into the decor of their home. So the rabbit's safe, the home is safe, and they don't have to worry about letting their rabbit out of his primary enclosure. He's not going to destroy anything, and he'll be nice and safe. You can also use 34 or 36-inch pet fencing to cordon off certain areas where the rabbit's not allowed to play. Some people use their hallways to just bring the rabbit out and let it have a long space to run. Another thing to keep in mind when rabbit proofing, which is not furniture or walls, but is very important to remember, is flooring. Slick floors are extremely dangerous for rabbits, so when you're bunny proofing your home, you want to make sure that you have long strips of carpeting that he can't tear the fibers out of or consume. Again, if you're supervising your rabbit, that shouldn't be too much of a problem, but you can go to a remnant store and cover up slick flooring so that the rabbit will have plenty of room to run. He can get grips when he walks across the floor. He's not going to be unsteady. It's so important not to let your rabbit run around or try to quote unquote get used to walking on slick floors. Rabbits can get what's called splayed legs, which means their legs go out from under them. If you've ever seen the x-ray of a rabbit's legs, they're not meant to do the splits like, humans can stretch out and do or anything like that. All the paws of rabbits are very slick. They're standing on fur. It's like walking a human trying to walk across ice. A big lake of ice without slipping once or falling. You have to be very careful. You keep your muscles tense. And even then, you wind up falling and hurting yourself. So, please consider that when you are bunny proofing your home and preparing areas for your rabbit to play in. They need a surface they can grip. And carpeting, even some dollar stores have carpet remnants that you can, spend $20 or even $15 and get enough to make a long pathway across a slick floor or a hardwood floor or something like that, just so your rabbit will not injure himself or herself when he's outside of his primary enclosure. You go on the internet and you see lots of videos with cute little bunny rabbits slipping and sliding around either in a bathtub during bonding sessions or on hardwood floors, and unfortunately those kind of videos get 1 million views, because it's such a cute little bunny rabbit, but what is occurring there is very dangerous for the animal. So just keep that in mind when you're bunny proofing. Also on the topic of protecting your floors, you can use those carpet remnants or even go to a carpet store that has larger remnants and lay it down over your base carpet. You can take those remnants and run them along the the edges of your carpeting so your rabbit won't dig the carpeting up, away from the wall. That's not only will that ruin your carpeting in your home, but there are tack boards under carpeting, especially, along the walls where the carpeting is attached. And those tacks, it won't take your rabbit long at all to remove enough fibers to start digging with his, very fragile little paws against those tacks, and it'll rip his fragile skin. So that's carpet, letting rabbits dig on the permanent carpeting in your home it's very dangerous for them. So again, you can get remnants, pieces of carpeting to put along the edges, all around the edges of your living room or wherever it is that you have carpeting and the rabbit plays, so that he cannot access those tacks and harm himself. I want to circle back to the cord conversation just for a moment. Speaking of walls, where your outlets are located and hence your cords are plugged in. protecting your cords so that you don't have to constantly replace cords is not the only reason. The best to protect the animal from chewing cords. A better reason is because when a rabbit, his fragile little mouth, bites into a cord, he gets a volt of electricity into his mouth, and that causes blistering and burns that you can't see. You often won't even know it until the animal has perished, because he will stop eating. It of course burns the inside of his mouth, and even can place blisters around his mouth on the outside. It's very painful for them, and again, pain causes rabbits to stop eating. So it's just all around a no-no to allow your rabbit access to any cords at any time. A smaller rabbit can be severely burned very quickly, even from small voltage cords. A lot of people, show, oh, my rabbit ate a cord again, or you'll see a video online that's supposed to be funny where they've laid out 3 or 4 cords that their rabbit has chewed on, over the course of 6 months. And I always wonder to myself, maybe you do too, is why after the first one was that ever allowed again? So just protect your animals from cords, protect your animals from slick floors. Don't let them, don't think that they can't get up next to a flat wall and chew the sheetrock by cocking their head back, because they absolutely can do that. Many of us that are experienced with lots of different rabbits over the years have seen that happen. And so sometimes you even have to put a barrier up against your wall, such as a very thin sheet of, smoothed wood, or just something to prevent that from happening. Of course, do not allow him to make his little hidey home under your couch, your recliner, or your bed. And don't allow him to access the bottoms of your bookcases either. A lot of times we keep DVDs stacked in bookcases, or items such as fake plants. Those items are very dangerous to ingest as well. And don't think for a minute your rabbit won't chew those things up and eat the little pieces of plastic, because they can. Some rabbits also cannot tolerate cardboard, or when they go to play with cardboard, they actually eat it. That will cause a blockage in a rabbit very quickly. Oftentimes those kind of blockages cannot be helped. The rabbit has to be put down after that happens, or he dies very quickly. So even using cardboard as a barrier is not wise for many rabbits. Some rabbits do just fine with cardboard and don't eat the pieces. But if you care for enough rabbits over enough years, you will run into plenty of rabbits who just cannot have paper or cardboard items to play with at all, and that includes cardboard boxes. Of course, there's a lot more information available on bunny proofing, a lot more things to consider when preparing your home for bringing bunny into your life. So check those things out. You can visit loveyourrabbit.com. We have a lot of great information there. I've mentioned my book that has a great section on bunny proofing in it. Please go on over to our Facebook page, give it a like. It's called Love Your Rabbit, and follow us on Instagram. If you have not done so already, please click the subscribe button. This YouTube channel is new for us. We're moving a lot of content over. There are a lot of great videos to make you smile, videos that really highlight the unique and great personalities of these rabbits, and just a lot of great content about the things they do. All of our information is very well researched by trained researchers. We have a lot of experience caring for these animals 24 hours a day, including bonding, very difficult bonds, rehabilitation, aggressive, receiving aggressive animals or animals that have been abused and neglected in their past. So we have not only thoroughly researched, including all the way back to source documents about rabbits and the science that exists even from 40, 50 years ago forward, but we stay abreast of new information and correct historic misunderstandings. We want to keep bringing you this great information, so again, subscribe to this YouTube channel as we build it. That will help us get more content up and credible information out. Thank you so much for joining me to discuss this very important topic of bunny proofing. As always, be kind to animals, and thank you for caring.